Well, Andrew Tate says this about fatherhood.
But a father doesn't have to be around.
It says, listen, Andrew Tate says a father doesn't have to be around to be the greatest father on earth. Doesn't have to be around. Say, what? Come on. All right, let's listen a little more. Listen a little more here.
Dad's home. Oh no, the whole dynamic of the house has changed. Everything shifted. Dad is home. He's been away and now he's home. Whether it's positive or negative, that has an impact on you, has a genuine effect on your psyche. I see so many fathers walk in the house and the kids are just playing a video game. Dad walks in. They don't give. Is that parenting? Are you a good dad now because you're home every day? That's why all these dudes are punks. No one can question what I'm saying when it comes to being a father or parenting, because I was raised in a very specific way, and I'm one of the greatest men on the face of the planet.
Now, notice, no one can question this method of fathering because Andrew Tate is one of the greatest men on the planet. Wow. One of the greatest men on the planet, so no one can question. Now, let's go on. I'm going to question it. I will question. Let's go on, though, first.
I know it works. I'm the product of it, right? So if I had a son, it would be my duty to be out here, traveling the world, making money, having impact, being a fantastic individual. That is the primary focus of my existence, as opposed to sitting there with my boy all day, every day. I can come home every 2 weeks with a storage. Boom. And they'd be like, Dad's the boss. Like, yes, Dad is the boss.
Is there a minimum or like a maximum? So for example, you said just come home every 2 weeks, your dad came home every month. Do you think there's an amount where you could be away too long?
No.
Really?
Not really.
Nah. No amount of time where you could be away too long. Miss the entire childhood. Nah. Can't be away too long. Let's go. Just a little bit more.
I mean, it's hard to quantify in a very, very specific, quantifiable way, right? It's hard to quantify. But the point is, if you make a large enough impact, you could see if I had a son, I could see him once a year. But my son should want to emulate me. He should want to be me. He is me. So I have to live a lifestyle which is worth emulating. This is the difference between kings and peasants. And this is.
Ooh, I like that. You need to live a lifestyle that's worth emulating. I like that. That's good. I like that a lot. I'm going to disagree with some of this, but I like that. Father should live a lifestyle that is worth emulating for his son. That's good. I like that. I was going to talk about kings and peasants. I like to talk about kings and peasants. Here we go.
The problem with the world today, 99% of the men, including 99% of the men who are going to watch this interview, all the crypto dorks, all these dudes, all these losers, they're peasants. They have a peasant mindset. When a king had a son, he wasn't.
Oh, man, that's me. Too bad. All right. Well, here we go. I'm depressed now, but here we go.
Staying at home changing diapers. He was conquering new lands and going to battle for the name, for the bloodline, to set an example for his son to raise into, right? Dad's out here. He's conquered this. He's built this castle. He's out there. He's slayed those people, killed those people. I'm the next. I will go do something. That's how a king raises a son, by example. A peasant raises a son the same way a female raises a son. Because that's not parenting. That's not being a dad. It's not being a dad. This is all new age garbage, and it's the femme-centric mindset, which is controlling men to the point where they can't be honest amongst themselves. And I'll tell you another thing.
This is new age garbage coming from the femme-centric mindset. That's probably true. That's probably true. That's probably true. I can agree with that. That is probably true. But what's not true is that Andrew Tate said, hey, this works. I'm the greatest man on the planet. So that's how I know this method works. Well, wait a minute. There's an old book. There's an old book that we read in the house of worship called the Holy Scripture, the Bible. And it has something to say about this too, because I thought, this was interesting what Tate had to say. And I thought, well, maybe we got something here like that. It does seem like there's a lot of punk dads that come home, kids don't pay attention, they don't care. Dad's whatever. I mean, because I see dad all the time. Dad's doing his normal thing, going to his normal job, normal stuff. They say, well, I mean, you just become so familiar, you're like painting on the wall or something. What does Scripture have to say about this, though? Shouldn't we ask, what does Scripture have to say about this? Hold on, let's look. Let's look here. Now, this is Deuteronomy chapter 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. Now, if we back up even to verse 5, right at the end of verse 5, Scripture says, now this is Moses talking to Israel as they're going into the promised land. They're in the promised land, and he's giving them the Mosaic law, and he's going to give them some commands about what fathers should be doing. Now, this we should all, if you're a father, if you're a patriarch, as I am, and you want to know, well, should I follow Big Daddy Tate, Top G? Should I follow his advice? Or should I follow the ancient wisdom of the Scripture? Here it is. Here it is right here, the ancient wisdom. You can't get this just anywhere. Actually, you can't. Bibles are everywhere. You can pick it up. Nobody seems to pick it up, but you can pick it up. You can pick it up. You can read it anywhere, anytime, anywhere you want, pretty much. You got it on your phone. You know, you got it everywhere. You can read it. Nobody's reading it. This is 533, right? The last verse says, or 532. So be careful to do what the Lord your God has commanded you. Do not turn aside to the right or the left. Walk in the ways that the Lord your God has commanded you, so that you may live long and prosper and prolong your days. All right. Now, verse 6, here's where it gets important. To the fathers. These are the commands, the decrees, and the laws the Lord your God directed me to teach you. This is Moses. This is Moses talking. You are to observe in the land, so you and your children and their children after them may fear the Lord your God as long as you live, by keeping all his decrees and commands I give you, so that you may enjoy long life, and your kids don't become purple-haired, non-binary lunatics. These commands that I give you today are to be upon your hearts. And now here's the important part. Here's the command for fathers. This stuff's be on your heart. These commands, what God has said. What's God said? Well, it's in the Scripture, what God has said. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them to your foreheads. Write them on the doormats of your houses and on your gates. Impress them on your children when you lie down, when you get up, when you're walking on the road, when you're driving in the car, whatever. This is the command. It's not to fathers. Now, this is to fathers, right? And mothers, but this is to fathers specifically as the heads of the home, ruling in the home. This is what fathers are to be doing. When you rise up, when you lie down, when you walk along the road. Now, I don't walk along the road too much, but when we're in the car, we're in the van, we're in the Mustang, we're on the motorcycle, whatever. Maybe not on the motorcycle. That gets a little rough. You got to take your helmet off. Not that anybody wears a helmet anyway, but oh yeah, we wear a helmet all the time, right? We wear helmets. Anyway. Teach them. Now, Top G says, hey, doesn't matter if you're around, just do something great. And that's all it will take for especially your sons. The kings were out there conquering new lands, doing all these things. That's all you got to do. And you don't need to be at home like some punk raising your child in the femme-centric mindset. So there it is. There you have it. Here's what Scripture says. Yes, you should be at home. When you lie down, teach your children. When you get up, teach your children. Teach them the ways of the Lord, his laws, his decrees. Teach them to love the Lord. When you're riding in the car, when you're going to the motorcycle race, when you're going to boxing, whatever you're doing, teach them while you're with them. That's the command of Moses. This is ancient wisdom. Now, kings, maybe they were away or whatnot, but the King of Kings has established his kingdom as the post-millennial man. I've got to say it. The King of Kings has established his kingdom that we are in right now. We are in the millennial kingdom right now. He's already established it. And the way that we win in this kingdom is we establish our families, we take dominion, we be fruitful and multiply, we fill the earth, And we know, as Christ said, the meek will inherit the earth because Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Post Millennial Man.